Good morning, students. Today we let us discuss about the new chapter, Principles of Inheritance and Variations. Mainly under this chapter we will discuss about the genetics. Genetics is a branch of biology that deals about the study of inheritance or the mechanism of the inheritance. Inheritance means transmission of characters from parents to the offsprings, or the transmission of the characters from generation to generation. First, this was studied by the scientist Gregor John Mendel. Gregor John Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment. Which plant? Pea plant. Pea plant for his experiment. Why Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment? Because of 4 reasons. Pea plant is a common herb. It can cultivate anywhere at any time. Pea plant shows so many varieties. Pea plant produces bisexual flowers that helps for the self-pollination. And that pea plant, it can cultivate in any time, in anywhere in the world. For these reasons, Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment. First 2 years he spent to select the different varieties of the pea plant. Totally he collected 32 different varieties of pea plant. Of them, he noted 7 contrasting characters, means opposite characters. In a pea plant varieties, some pea plants growing tall, some growing short or a dwarf. So that 2 varieties differ in the length of the stem. This is one contrasting character. Pea plants are differ in their stem length or in a height. They produces 2 different types of flowers. Some varieties produces that white flowers. Some produces a violet or purple flowers. They differ in their color of the flowers. They differ in the shape of the seed. They differ in the color of the seeds. They differ in the shape of the pod. They differ in the color of the pod. So similarly he noted 7 contrasting characters in a pea plant. And he selected first 2 varieties for his experiment. And by the result of these experiments, he formulated 3 different laws. Law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment. That law of dominance and the law of segregation state only by observing the result of one gene inheritance, or that is that cross is also he called monohybrid cross. What he called? Monohybrid cross. What is monohybrid cross? The crossing of 2 plants or 2 animals differ in one contrasting characters. the crossing of two different plants or two different animals, they should be differ only in one contrasting character is called monohybrid cross. In that cross, he selected two varieties of pea plant. One variety was tall. Mendel crossed tall variety of pea plant with a dwarf variety. Gregor John Mendel crossed tall variety of pea plant with a dwarf variety of pea plant. Tall, it is the externally expressed character. Dwarf, it is externally expressed character. This externally appeared character is called phenotype. What do you mean by phenotype? Tall, dwarf, red, white. So these are all externally appeared character. This externally expressed appeared character is called phenotype. What about phenotypically pea plant? One plant phenotype is tall, another plant phenotype is dwarf. Here in this plant, tall character is controlled by certain factors. Mendel used the term factor. Today we calling that as a gene. Even in dwarf plant, dwarf character is also controlled by factors. These cannot see because that genes are factors present on the chromosomes of the cells. We cannot see them. That factors are genes which are present on the chromosome are called genotypes. Where they are present? Actually, they are present on the chromosome of the cell. Okay. Here, Mendel used letters, alphabets to denote the factors or to denote the genes. For example, he selected T letter to denote character tall. Which letter? Big T. Similarly, to denote dwarf character, he selected small t. Small t denote dwarf character, big T denote tall character. And Mendel said that every character in an organism is controlled by pair of factors. Pair of factors. Why pair of factors? Because in all sexually reproducing organisms, all the sexually reproducing organisms have two parents. One male parent, one female parent. That's why all sexually reproducing organisms characters controlled by a pair of factors that is denoted with two letters. So here Mendel used two letters. Why? These two letters denote a pair of factors. Of them, one factor derived from the male parent, another factor derived from the female parent. Similarly, dwarf is also denoted by the two letters, that is that denoted with a small letters. Okay. And during gametogenesis, it means formation of the gametes. During gametogenesis, these two factors will separate. One factor will go to the one gamete, another factor will go to the another gamete. So during gametogenesis, two types of gametes produced. Two gametes produced, but two gametes are of same type. Capital T, only one type. Two gametes are of one type. Here also, two gametes are of one type. Here, there are a pair of factors. They are identical with each other. If a pair of factors are identical, that condition is called homozygous condition. That condition is called homozygous condition. If a pair of factors are identical, that condition is called homozygous. So this plant is homozygous at all. Here also there are a pair of factors. That pair of factors are also identical. So this plant is homozygous dwarf. How many types of gamete produced from the tall plant? Only one type. If 100 gametes produced, all 100 gametes will be of same type. How many types of gametes produced from the dwarf plant? Only one type. If 100 gametes produced, all will be same, because both the plants are homozygous plant. You may call it as a homozygous, or that is pure breeding. That plant is also called pure breeding. Next, these two gametes will be fused. This gamete and this gamete will be fused during hybridization. As a result, the resultant zygote will receive one factor from a male parent, another factor from a female parent. Again, that pair of factors are associated in a zygote. What is the condition? Here also there are a pair of factors, but these are unlike. One is capital T, means that is a tall character, another one is a dwarf. The pair of factors are unlike is called heterozygous condition. This condition is called heterozygous condition. And this first generation, Mendel called as a first feline generation. Gregor John Mendel called this generation is called F1 generation or first feline generation. When these plants after grown up, what will be the height of that plant? All these plants are hybrid plants. Heterozygous, hybrid plant. What do you mean by hybrid? Hybrid means hybrid is a offspring. Hybrid is a offspring produced by crossing of two plants or two animals. They should be differ in one or more alternate character. What do you mean by hybrid? Hybrid is an offspring. Hybrid is an offspring produced by crossing of two different plants or two different animals, but they should be differ in one or more alternate character. That offspring, progeny is called hybrid. So what will be the phenotypes of these F1 progeny? In F1 generation, all hybrid plants produced tall. All are tall. This tall and this tall are both the same? No. No doubt. Height of this plant will be same. Phenotypically, both are same. Look at about the genotypes. See? Here there are a pair of factors, they are identical. This condition is called homozygous condition. Here also there are a pair of factors, they are unlike. It is called heterozygous condition. So these are all hybrid talls are heterozygous. Next, Mendel selfed these hybrids. Selfed. He didn't cross it. He allowed for self-pollination. Selfed. How many types of gametes produced from this F1 hybrid tall? Two types of gametes. One is tall type, another one is dwarf type. Means 50-50. If 100 gametes produced from this hybrid tall, 50% will be tall, 50% will be dwarf. Randomly, they selfed. That fusion we may show in this table that is called checkerboard. Two types of male gametes, two types of female gametes. This is the symbol of male, this is the symbol of female. Take two male gametes, write two male gametes here in these boxes. This one and this one. These two are the male gametes. And take another two female gametes here in this box. This is a female symbol, this is a male symbol. This is female gamete, this is also female gamete. Randomly, when selfed, if this male gamete having tall character is fused with the egg having a tall character, the genotypes obtained we should write in this box. Capital T, pair of factors. What I have written here, genotype, genotypes of a progeny. If the what is the condition of the genotype of the progeny? Homozygous, because the pair of factors are identical. What will be the phenotype? This plant, this seed is developed as a tall. This is genotype, this is phenotype. If this male gamete is fused with this female gamete, capital T, small t. What I have written? Genotypes. What is the condition of the genotype? Heterozygous. This is homozygous. This is the genotype. What will be the phenotype? Is this plant develop tall or dwarf? Tall. What type of tall? Hybrid. This tall is called hybrid. This is pure breeding because it is a homozygous condition. This is a heterozygous condition. Suppose this male gamete fused with this female gamete, capital T, that is small t. What I have written? Genotypes. Condition heterozygous because a pair of factors are unlike. One is tall, another one is dwarf. Of these two, tall character is always dominant. That will express. Dwarf character is recessive. It will suppress. It will suppress. So this zygote or a seed is developed into a tall because it has one tall character. It will express. What will be the phenotype? It also developed as a tall plant. How many tall? 3 tall. All the 3 talls are same? No. One is pure breeding or homozygous tall. Another 2 talls are heterozygous or hybrid tall. If this gamete, male gamete, is fused with this female gamete, the pair of factors obtained are dwarf and dwarf will be fused in a zygote. What is the condition? Is heterozygous or homozygous? Definitely it is a homozygous. Why? Because a pair of factors are identical. Both are a dwarf factors. What will be the phenotypes? This plant is developed as a dwarf. See, dwarf plant. This generation is a second generation. This is a first generation. This is a second generation. It is called second phylyl generation. Okay. Now we take the ratio of 2 types of plants. First you observe, look at about the phenotypes. Phenotypes, tell me the ratio. Here in this checkerboard, total how many plants? 4 plants. 4 plants. Of them, how many are tall? 1, 2, 3. 3 tall. 3 tall. Of the 4, how many are dwarf? 1. Now, we have taken this ratio by observing the phenotypes. Phenotypically, 1, 2, 3 are tall plants. One is dwarf plant. So the ratio is 3:1. 3:1. This is monohybrid phenotypic ratio because by observing phenotype we have taken a ratio. That's why it is called the monohybrid phenotypic ratio. Next, here in the checkerboard, how many plants? 4 plants. How many tall? 3 tall. All the 3 talls having the same genotypes? No. This tall has 2 identical. It is homozygous. Of the 3 tall, how many homozygous? 1. 1 is homozygous. Of the 3 tall, how many are heterozygous? 2 are heterozygous. In this checkerboard, how many are dwarf? 1 is dwarf. This ratio we have taken by observing the genotypes. This is pure breeding tall, 1. These 2 are the hybrid tall, and this is the dwarf. Now the ratio is 1:2:1. This is 1:2:1 is the monohybrid genotypic ratio. So this is one gene inheritance, also called monohybrid cross. In this cross, Gregor John Mendel crossed tall variety of pea plant with a dwarf variety. Capital T denote a tallness. It is a dominant character. Small t, denote the dwarf character. It is the recessive. What is dominant and what is recessive? In a heterozygous condition, if the character is expressed, that is called dominant. The one which is suppressed is called the recessive character. Tall plant produces one type of gamete, dwarf plant also produces one type of gamete. When these two gametes fused in a hybrid in the F1 generation, all plants will be tall. When these tall plants are selfed, they produces two types of gametes. In F2 generation, three types of plants developed in the ratio of 1:2:1 genotypically. Two types of plants developed in the ratio of 3:1. So this is the mechanism of inheritance of that height or length of the stem in a pea plant. This is about the one gene inheritance. By observing the result of this one gene inheritance, Gregor John Mendel proposed two laws. One law of dominance. What it states, in a heterozygous condition, one factor will express, another character will suppress. Always in heterozygous condition, the dominant factor will suppress the recessive factor. That's why he formulated one law, that is law of dominance. Another law, see, law of segregation. By observing the results of F1 generation, Mendel formulated another law, that is law of segregation. Law of segregation states that when a pair of factors brought together, in a hybrid are segregate during formation of the gametes. See here, a pair of factors brought together in a hybrid are again segregate during a formation of the gametes. So this law he called law of segregation. The law of segregation is also called law of purity of gametes. Today we learn about the one gene inheritance, about the law of dominance, and about the law of segregation. In my next class, I will explain about the two gene inheritance. Thank you.